This is the future.
Are you ready to crush your bookies?
Evolution.
Hello, sports betting friends. Thank you for showing up again for this live stream that will present some MLB picks for today, April 16. All right, so on Monday, I shared 10 picks with you in Major League Baseball. On Tuesday, I shared 10 more, and guess what? Today, I have 10 more for you. On Monday, we had some mitigated success as we posted a 6-4 record. A person risking $100 per play would have earned a net profit of plus $80. Now, unfortunately, yesterday we did not have as much success. Let me show you a recap. So in total, we had 4 wins, 5 losses, and 1 push. I'm still pissed that we did not win the Rangers bet at the bottom, but after 5 innings, the score was still scoreless, so it was a push. And this time, a sports bettor risking $100 per wager would have finished with a loss of $145. So let's bounce back today with some winning picks. And by the way, today, 3 of my 10 picks are viewed as premium plays that have generated some success so far this season. They did not do very well yesterday, but we're talking about a small sample. Remember that sports betting is a marathon, not a race. So no need to panic about short losing skids. I'm not worried about that at all. All right. By the way, before I forget, so tomorrow I won't make a video presenting baseball picks. So doing those 10 pick videos takes a lot of time, a lot of hours. So I'm going to take a break tomorrow. There are fewer games on the menu anyway, and many of them take place in the afternoon. So that would be a good opportunity to take a break. And I'll be back Friday, probably with 10 more baseball picks. Now, that being said, tomorrow I'm still going to provide a short write-up about maybe 2 or 3 games to those of you who have signed up to my newsletter, my daily newsletter on my mailing list that contains the email address of several thousands of people. Like I think I've got 6,000 people signed up to this newsletter. If you want to get a daily email presenting some picks in your mailbox, you can go at professormj.com. So let me show you. So if you go at professormj.com, on the home page, you need to go at the very bottom. Here you enter your email, and by doing so, you will be automatically subscribed to get my picks tomorrow and for the rest of the season, for that matter. And of course, you are free to unsubscribe at any time if you don't like the content. But based on the feedback that I've received from many subscribers, they are enjoying it. So hopefully you will join this mailing list. All right. And I will talk later for the last time about the big 77% rebate I'm offering on my premium picks across all sports. So stick around until the end of the video for more details. Now let's dive into the main content. I'm excited to present some picks to you. The first one concerns the Braves-Jays game that features 2 solid starting pitchers, Spencer Strider and Chris Bassett. In this game, I am going to go with the Braves to win straight up. At the time, about an hour ago, the best available line was minus 140 in American format, which is the same as 1.714 in decimal. Now, the lads from Atlanta have started their 2025 campaign erratically. They lost their first 7 games of the season, and since then, across the past 10 games, they have always alternated between a win and a loss. So they've had win, loss, 5 times. If the trend continues, this means they're going to win today. So basically, they have never won 2 games in a row this season, which is really shameful. Now, so on the mound, we have Spencer Strider for the Braves. So he's making a return from Tommy John surgery. And I'm looking forward to seeing if he can find the same form and control that he displayed prior to his injury. Throughout his career, his numbers read very well. He owns a career ERA of 3.47, but more importantly, a whip stat which is of 1.07. Again, I often talk about the famous whip stat, the walks plus hits per inning pitched. Remember that the league average is 1.30, and in his case, he has a stat of 1.07 in his career, which is fantastic. Now, granted, Chris Bassitt is also a great pitcher, and all three of his starts this year have been very good. He owns a fantastic 0.98 ERA. But still, I believe that the return of Spencer Strider will motivate the Braves, and it might wake up their offense at the same time. So all in all, after analyzing this game, I am taking the Braves to win straight up in Toronto. Up next, we have the Tigers facing the Brewers, and in that game, I am taking the over. More specifically, over 8 runs to be scored in the Tigers-Brewers game. All right, so in this case, I don't trust either starter. On one side, you have Kaider Montero, who will make his first start of the 2025 campaign. He had a mediocre season last year via a 4.76 ERA. And in fact, his numbers were even worse. They were significantly worse away from home, as he produced an ERA of 5.89, which is really bad. Meanwhile, Jose Quintana really dazzled in his Brewers debut, but I am not jumping on the bandwagon just yet. In his lone start this year, he only struck out 2 batters in 7 innings pitched. And to me, that's a source of concern. And both clubs are currently sitting in the top half of the league in terms of the number of runs scored. So they both have a very decent offense, and I don't trust either pitcher. I think we're going to see at least 10 runs in this afternoon game. So again, I'm taking over 8 in this game. I want to say hello to a few people who are watching right now. Marianne Woods, that I remember seeing from last year as well. Justin, thank you for being there. Julien Courcy, merci d'être de retour ce matin. Émile Chaput aussi. Lamante Long, who says, let's cash today. I like your mantra. Hello to Tony Cobbs as well from Washington State. So it's great to see you all showing up for this live stream, or as always, you can watch the replay. Up next, I'm going to make a pick on the Mets-Twins game, and this time I'm going to take a shot on big, juicy odds. I like New York minus half a run in the first 5 innings in Minnesota. So in other words, I am banking on the fact that the Mets will lead after 5 innings. If the score is tied, we're losing our wager. But the line is plus 155 in American format, which amounts to 2.55 in decimal. And you know what? I think it's worth taking a shot on this bet. At the moment that I'm recording this video, it is still unclear who will start for the Mets. Perhaps it will be Justin Hagenman, who hasn't been very impressive in the minors, but we have seen some pitchers making their MLB debut and surprising us with a pretty good performance, and that could happen here. Also, the Mets players would be more motivated to help the guy winning his first MLB game by adding some run support. So to me, the line is grossly inflated. I mean, the Mets are clearly the better club here, and Minnesota's starter is not a world beater either. David Festa posted a 4.90 ERA last year. So to me, I think it's worth taking a shot. There is a lot of uncertainty around this game. So maybe the Mets could lead 5-1 during the first half of the game. just like they could trail 5-1. Both cases are possible. So under such conditions where there is a lot of variability, I like to go with the big underdog, and that's what I'm doing here. So let's go with the Mets to lead through the first half of the game at plus 155 odds. All right, I told you earlier that I would share 3 premium picks today. So again, the premium picks are those that have where I have the most confidence in, and those are the plays that I share at mjpicks.com and where you can get a 77% rebate for a weekly plan. Well, here is one of them. So I am taking Gavin Williams, Cleveland starter, to record under 5.5 strikeouts. The best current line is plus 100 or 2.0 in decimal. You can see a screenshot on your screen. I'm always going to show you a screenshot showing the best odds. Again, I don't want to promote specific sports books, so I'm not necessarily going to mention which sportsbook has the best line. I'll do an exception here by mentioning that this is a screenshot from William Hill, Canada. All right, so basically, Gavin Williams is averaging 1 punch-out per inning pitched in his career. More precisely, he has racked up 174 Ks in 171 innings pitched. Now his average is lower when he is on the road, which is the case here, and he's also facing a solid offense, so that will make it more difficult for him to get 6 strikeouts or more. So in order to get 6 plus Ks, he basically needs to pitch at least 6 innings if we rely on his career average. And this year he has lasted 5, 3, and 5 innings. And again, remember that now he is on the road against a tough offense. So to me, this is really a great play. I love it. And we have very reasonable odds. Of course, you may not get the plus 100 line just like I showed you unless you have an account with that specific sports book. Maybe you're going to get minus 110, minus 115. Well, according to my mathematical model, it remains a very good value wager at odds of minus 120 or better. If you are more familiar with decimal odds, we're talking about a line of 1.83 or higher. So, for example, I know I have many viewers from the province of Quebec, and if I remember correctly, no, let me check before I say something stupid, which happens occasionally. No, that's not true. Okay, so forget what I was going to tell you. It's not what I thought about. All right, so that was pick number 4. Gavin Williams under 5.5 strikeouts against Baltimore. I really love it. Stick around. I still have 2 more premium plays. Now, up next, this is not a premium pick, but I'll call it a lean. It is backed by a betting system called the cold versus hot teams matchup. Here are the rules. Bet the road team if they have lost at least 1 game in a row, whereas the home team is riding a winning streak of length at least 4. You can see at the bottom the performance of this system between 2010 and 2016. Now, since then, I've also been tracking its performance, and it has generated just one winning year out of the past 4. So don't go crazy about this betting system. I've rated it 2 stars out of 5. So it's not one of my best systems for sure out of the 19 that I have developed. Still, I still trust it somewhat. I need further arguments supporting the play before pulling the trigger. Now, in this case, the Mariners have lost 1 game in a row, whereas the Reds have picked up 4 straight victories. So, by following the rules, we must bet the Mariners, and that's exactly what this pick is all about. I'm taking the Mariners to win straight up as slight favorites. As you can see, the best current line is minus 120. or 1.83 in decimal. But again, be cautious with this play. It's not one of my favorites. But if I was forced to bet, I would side with the Mariners here. Up next, here is a pick that I love. This is one of my premium picks, which is endorsed by my lucky lobster bell. I'm taking the Nationals with the first half money line, or the first 5 innings money line. The best current odds are minus 107. This is a screenshot taken from the Bally Sportsbook, maybe like 30, 45 minutes ago. I don't know if it has changed since then. If you prefer decimal odds, that's the same as 1.93. Again, don't panic if you're not getting a line that is as favorable. That can happen. I'm just telling you the best odds as a reference point. All right, now in this case, why do I like this bet a lot? Well, the Pirates have struggled quite a bit against Southpaws this season. They have presented a 198 batting average against lefties, which is abysmal. And now they are facing Mitchell Parker, who happens to be a left-handed pitcher, of course. Now for Pittsburgh, the starter is Bailey Falter, and he has given up a 312 batting average against the Nationals. So this is not an opponent that he likes to face. Well, it's interesting to note that Washington has won all 3 games where Mitchell Parker was the starter, whereas on the other side, the Pirates have dropped all 3 games when Falter was on the mound. Also, well, Pittsburgh's offense is just weaker than Washington's, and they clearly have a pitching duel favoring Washington. So to me, all signs are pointing towards Washington, except for the fact that they are the away team, but still there are way too many arguments backing the Nationals in this case. So I have to side with Washington with the first half money line. I really love this play. This is a second premium pick for today. All right, we still have 4 picks coming up. I hope you are enjoying the live stream so far. You can leave a comment in the chat. I see Vincent Giardina saying, thanks for your help. You are very welcome, my friend. Thanks for being here. All right, so let's move on with pick number 7. Do you remember yesterday one of the picks that we made at positive odds that ended up being a winner? That's right, the Yankees with the minus 1.5 run line. Well, you know what? I'm going to do it again. This time, the pick is again the Yankees to win by a margin of at least 2 runs against the Royals. And we are getting very nice odds of plus 138, which is the same as 2.38 in decimal. Well, this is again the best current odds. Maybe you will get plus 130, plus 125. But anyway, this is the pick that I'm making here. So we hit this bet yesterday at positive odds, and I like it again today at even more juicy odds. All right, so here are some arguments supporting this play. The Yankees have scored the 2nd most runs in the big leagues this year, whereas KC has scored the 3rd fewest runs in the league. So under such conditions, and based on the line that we're getting here, you would expect a huge pitching advantage going for Kansas City. But that's not necessarily the case. They are sending Chris Bubic on the mound, who has been fantastic in 2025. He has given up just 2 earned runs in 18 2/3 innings. That's great, but you can expect some regression, especially against the high-powered attack by the Bronx Bombers. I would not be surprised if he allows 4 or 5 runs. Now his counterpart, Clark Schmidt, is not bad at all. In fact, he enjoyed the best season of his career in 2024 by posting a 2.85 ERA. And now he will be making his first start this year, and he looked very strong in a couple of rehab starts. So to me, it is clearly worth taking a chance on this bet with high enticing odds. It's also worth noting that the Yankees have won 6 of the past 7 meetings with the Royals. So again, I'm taking the Yankees with the -1.5 run line, which means we are betting on them to win by a margin of 2 runs or more. Okay, let's move on to the Ace versus White Sox game. And this time, I'm going to make use of another betting system that's rated 2 stars. So let's not go crazy. Let's not bet our house on it because it's not a super trustworthy system. It's called the blowout number 1, and it's quite easy to understand. Bet any team that won its previous game by a margin of at least 8 runs if they are facing the same opponent. Now, yesterday, the Ace really dismantled the White Sox 12-3. In fact, I picked the White Sox to win this game. I thought they had a chance of pulling off a big upset. It did not even come close. This was a very poor pick on my side. So really sorry about this ugly pick. That sucked a lot. So I'm not going to make the same mistake today. This time I'm taking the Ace by following the blowout system. So let's make it official here. I'm taking the Ace money line at -145 odds, which is the same as 1.69 in decimal. All right, up next, let's move on to the Angel versus Rangers game. And this time, I am opting for the Texas Rangers to win outright. They are home underdogs in this game, and there is one big reason why they are big underdogs, despite owning a great 7-1 record when playing at Globe Life Field. And that reason is called Patrick Corbin, who really sucks. He is one of the pitchers that I hate the most, or that I don't trust the most in the entire big leagues. But in this case, I find it hard to resist the temptation of betting the Rangers as home underdogs against the Angels. Well, here is one important thing to notice here. The Angels have played a great deal of games on the road this year, so it might take a toll on them. In fact, it will be their 14th road game out of 17 games played, which is amazing. So I'm not sure that they will have the same energy level in such a long road trip. Now on the others, so Corbin, as I said, is really bad. His best whip statistic over the past 5 years has been 1.47. Now remember that the league average is 1.30. And if your whip stat is 1.5 or higher, that means you are really bad. And in his case, his best year was 1.47 in the past 5 seasons. That tells you how much he's bad. Last year, he posted a 5.62 ERA. On the other side, the Angels are sending Jose Soriano on the mound, and he has looked pretty solid in his first 3 appearances, which again makes this bet a bit scary. But still, after doing my due diligence, I feel like there's a bit more value on the Rangers, although it is not my favorite bet. We have one more betting tip to go, and I had promised you 3 premium plays. Right now, you have gotten just 2. So, as you can imagine, you have one more coming up regarding the Rockies versus Dodgers game. And can you guess what this pick is? Probably not. This pick is going, so it's a premium pick, again, endorsed by my lucky lobster bell that I got from my late grandparents. And I am taking, let me show you, the Rockies plus 1.5 run in the first 5 innings. And right now, the best corresponding odds are -105, which is the same as 1.95 in decimal. So to make it clear, we're betting on the outcome of the first 5 innings, and we are taking the Rockies plus 1.5. So that means that if they lead, or if the score is tied, or if they are trailing by exactly 1 run, we're going to win this wager. Or alternatively, we're going to lose this bet if they are trailing by a margin of 2 runs or more after 5 innings. All right, so I know, betting Colorado on the road is very scary. This year, they own a dismal 1-10 road record. And in fact, if you look at the prior 4 seasons, they have accumulated 99 wins versus 224 defeats. This is really bad. But still, I believe they can hold their own in the first half of this game. Well, first of all, I feel like the Dodgers could take their opponents lightly. After winning the first 2 games, they know that they are a much better club than the Rockies. So they could start slowly, especially with the Dodgers, who are set to send Bobby Miller to the mound for the first time this year. He really struggled last season. He produced an 8.54 ERA. So I think the Rockies, they have a shot of putting some runs on the board. And also, he has made 3 appearances with Oklahoma City in AAA this year, and he has produced an alarming 1.42 whip stat. So this is a really bad whip stat in the minors. And that was due in part to some command issues, because he has given up 11 walks in 12 innings, which is unacceptable. Well, I'm hoping that he will replicate those bad performances today against the Rockies. And now let's hope that the veteran German Marquez can limit the damage against, of course, a very potent Dodgers offense. But still, I feel like we have much more than a 50% chance of seeing the Rockies either leading or being tied or trailing by 1 run in Los Angeles tonight. So this is one of my premium picks for today. So there you go. You have my 7 betting tips for today in Major League Baseball. And now it's time to remind you for the last time that you have until 8 p.m. tonight to take advantage of an incredible 77% rebate on all of my picks across all sports. So that includes baseball, hockey, and basketball. Just the highest confidence plays across those 3 sports for the next week. So all you need to do is go at mjpicks.com. There you go. So you go at mjpicks.com. You can see I've posted the free pick on the Rockies here. And just for your information, you can also click on it. And, well, my internet is quite slow because I'm already doing this live stream. But anyway, you often get more details by clicking on it. So if you go at mjpicks.com and you need to subscribe, so you join now and you subscribe for the subscription plan called 1 Week All Sports. Well, I think it's called Weekly All Sports Plan, and you need to enter the following promo code, LIVE77. In other words, upon checkout, there will be a field where you can enter a promo code. So you just type LIVE77, and by doing so, instead of requiring an investment of $35 for 1 week, it will only cost you $8.05. And by doing so, you can expect to receive between 35 and 45 betting picks for the next 7 days directly in your mailbox. So I invite you to try it out. I saw this morning that many of you have already taken advantage of this great offer that ends tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I don't recall making such a huge rebate, but I just wanted to celebrate my first live streams of the year in baseball, which I hope you are enjoying. It requires a lot of work to do some research and come up with 10 betting picks that I love, but I'm really glad to be sharing them with you, and I appreciate all of your comments. So thank you very much for being here on a daily basis. I appreciate you. I know that it may be difficult for some of you to be there during the live stream, but you can always watch the replay. No problem there. All right, so this is Professor MJ. Thank you very much. And again, I won't post a video tomorrow. I'll take a break and I will be spending the whole day doing all kinds of things to develop the Professor MJ brand. More specifically, I've been working very hard in recent weeks to publish some evergreen videos that talk about subjects that you can watch for a while, so not only daily picks. For example, I have posted a video presenting some very smart strategies about how to bet in the NHL playoffs. I'm also going to release a video about how to bet the NBA playoffs with 3 specific strategies that have been very lucrative over a long period of time. I've posted another video explaining how betting odds work, so you have many more evergreen videos coming up on my YouTube channel. I think that's something that was lacking on my channel. I really apologize for that. I was so focused on posting daily picks that I forgot to post some videos like these, and I hope you will enjoy them. All right, so thank you very much. Have a great day. Let's hope that we crush it today. I am hopeful that we will have a big day. Thank you, and I'll see you again on Friday. Bye, folks.